The GAC Sports Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the Great American Conference.
Live from the Bruin Fieldhouse in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, this is the 2018 Great American Conference Basketball Championships. Hello, friends. I'm Paul Smith. Joey McWilliams and Michael Westbrook will be along momentarily. We set the men's semifinal field earlier today. Now we do the business of setting the women's field. And our first matchup this evening will be the 4-5 matchup in the women's bracket featuring 4th-seeded Harding and 5th-seeded Southeastern Oklahoma State. The winner of this one goes on to face Southwestern Oklahoma in the 5:45 matchup tomorrow here at Bruin Fieldhouse. Later tonight, we'll have the Battle of the Ravine as 3rd-seeded Henderson State and 6th-seeded Ouachita square off. The winner of that one going on to face 2nd-seed Arkansas Tech in tomorrow night's late game. Great game ahead of us between the 4th and 5th seeds with the call at courtside. Joey McWilliams, Michael Westbrook. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you, Paul, and we are glad to be back here at Bartlesville Bruin Fieldhouse for tonight's evening session as things are just about to get underway. So let's go ahead and bring you the starting lineups for tonight's contest. The Southeastern Savage Storm starters just introduced wearing the road blue uniforms. Starting lineup looks like this. A sophomore guard, 5'5" from Bowie, Texas, wearing number 10, Courtney Brady. A 5'6" senior guard from Sherman, Texas, number 13, Celicia Hunter. A 5'6" sophomore guard from Cashin, Oklahoma, number 15, Alex Robinson. A 5'9" freshman guard from Bells, Texas, number 32, Katie Branham. And a 6-foot senior center from Tyler, Texas, number 33, M.M. David. Savage Storm coached by Darren Grover in his 13th season. The Harding Lady Bisons wearing the home white uniforms with the higher seed here tonight. Starting lineup looks like this. A 5'10" senior guard from North Little Rock, Arkansas, number 3, Fallon Miller. A 6-foot freshman forward from Jessieville, Arkansas, number 10, Kelly Lampo. A 5'10" sophomore guard from Frisco, Texas, number 13, Peyton Paget. A 5'11" senior forward from Paragould, Arkansas, number 21, Sydney Layrock. And a 5'10" freshman guard from Branson, Missouri, number 24, Amanda Kearney. The Harding Lady Bisons are coached by Tim Kirby, also in his 13th season. Again, excited to be here with you for this evening session tonight, session number 2 of day number 2, game number 7 overall for the GAC tournaments. Thanks for watching us on the GAC Sports Network. David jumping center now with Lampo tipped around, and finally Harding will control. Harding, number 4 seed, coming into tonight's contest with a record of 16-14 overall, 12-10 in the GAC. Lampo nearly loses it. Southeastern, the 5 seed, as Layrock's shot from the right elbow is good. Harding's on the board first. Southeastern 13-14 overall, 11-11 in the GAC. Michael, we've talked about this game a couple of times, and I think there's some interesting storylines that we can address tonight. Southeastern, though, wanting to get through this first round. It's been a while since the Savage Storm has been able to advance to the conference semifinals.
Well, 2 tournament championships for Harding, just 2 tournament wins all time here in GAC play in the Bruin Fieldhouse for a Southeastern team. They've matched up against Harding a couple of times, and here they are again in a 4-5 matchup. And we talked with Darren Grover before the game, and he said the hay's in the barn at this point. So we'll see how it all turns out and who has more hay by the time it's over.
Well, Branham has some right there. Katie Branham, the freshman from long range. Southeastern with its first lead, 5-2. You know, I've had the opportunity to watch Southeastern, you and I both have, over the years, at close range at some times and a little bit farther away. And coming to Bartlesville each year, one of the things is, as I've asked Coach Grover about his team, he always says, well, we have to put the ball in the hole. We have to make the shots. And I said this year when you were talking about that, the hay's in the barn, I said, I'm not even going to ask you that this year, Coach. I know what the answer is. And really, that is the deal for a Southeastern team. They just need to put the shots in the basket.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we've seen some droughts over the years from some star players, and I think we saw on the men's side earlier today, the Southeastern men had all their star players step up and do what they had to do, plus a little bit extra. They'll take that today against a very good defensive team in Harding.
Well, Branham turned around and found Hunter in the lane, who stayed in the lane a little too long. 3-second violation, and it's a turnover. Harding will get the ball. We go a little more about Southeastern. We would be remiss if we didn't say that Harding is the defending tournament champion right here at the outset. Not only that, made quite a run in the Division II playoffs last year, making it all the way to the Final Four. Fantastic victory, Sweet 16 victory on their home court as Layrock puts David on the court, and that's not an easy thing to do. Harding advancing to the Elite Eight and ultimately to the Final Four before losing to eventual national champion Ashland on their home court.
Yeah, Layrock a little too strong there at the right elbow going in towards David as well. And we talked a lot about what Harding did for GAC basketball, but what Harding did as a university last year for the GAC was
oh my
big.
Goodness. I mean, football,
yeah,
basketball, you name it. Softball, soccer. What Harding did as a representative of the Great American Conference during the 2016-2017 athletic campaign is something that really has, I believe, helped propel the conference and get a little bit more national recognition, a little bit more national respect.
Yeah.
A conference that's now in its 7th season. Robinson driving in and up and under, doesn't fall.
Obviously, Southeastern wants to get out and run. They want quick shots, get back on defense, and come and shoot again. That time, the shot clock was down to 3 before they got a shot away. So I think they're going to want to try to pick it up a little bit. Harding's going to want to try to slow it down. Again, they're a good defensive team. They want to stay in position on defense and slow down the game if they can.
Both these teams among the top 4 defensively in the conference. Harding at number 3, Southeastern number 4, giving up right around 66 points a game for each of them. Neither of these teams, however, averages better than 70 points a game. Harding 6th in the conference at 69.6, as Branham can't get that one to fall. Southeastern number 9 in the conference at 67.3.
And how about the 2 coaches in this one? Both of them in their 13th year as the head coach. We mentioned Darren Grover for Southeastern. Got to visit with Tim Kirby just a little bit yesterday as well while he was up in the stands taking in some of the other quarterfinal action on the women's side. And great coach on that end as well.
I'll tell you, we have the opportunity over the course of not just the tournament but the season to visit with coaches, you and I do, and starting with the Countdown to Tip-Off preview series and throughout the year. Both of these coaches are really enjoyable to visit with. They are. They respect their teams. They respect the conference. Some maybe different styles on the court is how they go about things, but really good representatives, I believe, of their school and the conference as a whole. Second free throw doesn't fall. Southeastern's lead is 2. And Hunter has made her way to the basket more than once and has not been successful just yet converting.
Had the right idea there, just could not quite get the basketball in her hands. I think had she had gotten it right at the rim, she probably would have had a good chance of scoring. Her momentum was carrying her to the basket.
Southeastern 2 for 4 from the field in the early going. Harding 1 of 3. Paget giving in to Kennedy Cooper, who's now in the contest for Harding. Cooper, a 6-foot freshman from Melbourne, Arkansas. It's just so easy to say Melbourne, Australia. I have to fight that every time.
You saw Sydney Jones a moment ago, the tournament MVP from last year. Kind of getting a little bit aggressive down low. Tournament MVP as a freshman a year ago.
Wow, and rightfully so. What an amazing tournament she had. Also checking in now for Southeastern, junior Ariana Kemp, forward from Gainesville, Texas. Shot good for Southeastern's Courtney Brady. Well, as you might imagine, 4-5 matchup here, and these two teams well matched up. As a matter of fact, they did split during the regular season. Each team won on its home court. A little bit off the mark there for Paget. Southeastern won 84-73 on December 2nd in Durant. Harding winning in Searcy 63-46. And there were a couple of times this season, yes, that Southeastern's point total didn't get that high.
That was one of them.
That was one of them. Another 3-second lane violation. Well, you don't get that often. But to get 2 within the first 5 minutes of a contest, that's something.
Coach Grover will have to tell his players to adjust, stay out of the lane. They're obviously watching that pretty closely. Harding was the number 3 team in the nation in that first game of the year. Now, I know that was early on and predicated on what they did the season ago,
yes.
But still, number 3 team in the nation, and Durant able to get that home win, or in Durant, Southeastern able to get that win.
And that win for Southeastern, or from the other perspective, the loss for Harding was one of 4 losses in the first 5 games of the season.
Yep.
This is a team that's dealt with a little bit of adversity, trying to figure out who it is along the way. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we come out of the break. Southeastern on top by 4, 7-3. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
Southern Arkansas University feels like home.
SAU feels like home because I've been treated like one of their own from the very beginning. While at SAU, I felt comfortable, encouraged, and motivated to succeed.
SAU feels like home because the atmosphere makes me feel secure and like I'm a part of a family.
SAU feels like home because everyone is here for our students. They care about our success.
Come visit SAU and see why so many students are saying that Southern Arkansas University feels like home.
Storm up 4 in the early going. This 4-5 matchup here in the GAC tournament. I'm Joey McWilliams along with Michael Westbrook. Paul Smith also with us this evening, as he has been and will be throughout the tournament. The Bison Singular.
I've interviewed him before.
You have?
Yep. Volleyball tournament. 2000-something. 12. Yes.
I see you remember it well. I recall it so well.
Buff the Bison.
There you go.
When Harding hosted the volleyball tournament. I have a picture to prove it.
Southeastern facing a man defense right now as Brady gets through a screen, will slow down and pick up the pace again. Reverse layup is good for Courtney Brady. 2 more points for the sophomore. She's really come around for Southeastern as her sophomore year has stepped up. She's filling a role and lead point guard for Coach Grover. And Layrock counters on the other end in the lane, keeping the distance to 4.
Layrock's the only one that's hit from the floor so far. Kearney had 1 free throw, but 2 of 6 from the floor for Harding, 4 of 6 for Southeastern.
Said it's been a while for Southeastern. Of course, Harding has won a couple of conference tournament championships here, and we talked about their run in the playoffs last season. It was 2017. It's been a while for Southeastern, as that one a little bit off the mark for the Savage Storm.
I know Southeastern likes to shoot the three-pointer, but in a game like this, if you've got a 2, take the 2. You don't need to worry about stepping back and forcing something. Just get the best look possible.
As Johnson on the shot earlier. Hunter through the lane again. Doesn't find the basket there. With David and Kemp on the court right now. A couple of post players for Southeastern. They find Johnson on the run. Left side is good. Tracy Johnson, a 5'5" sophomore from Poolville, Texas.
Little surprised that Southeastern's getting the shots they're getting around the rim right now.
Well, that one wasn't around the rim, but it was good nonetheless. Fallon Miller, the senior, making her presence known. Harding to within 1. And quickly, Kemp shot a little off the mark. Harding with an opportunity to retake the lead right here. Of course, Harding's had some good postseason runs of recent time. It's been a little while for Southeastern. Layrock comes up a little bit short. Brady has the board. Last time the Storm went deep into the playoffs, you have to go all the way back to 2002, national runners-up in Division II. And that is about 16 seasons ago.
Well, in the men's game, Joey, we talked about how you were on the call for one of the last tournament postseason wins and one of the last regionals.
I was on the call in that game, too, as a matter of fact.
And I was on the call for the last women's appearance on a regional. So
there you go. That is true.
It has been a little while,
It's been a little while. Now, that actually was in Rochester, Minnesota back in '02.
Wow.
It was cold.
I got to go to Tahlequah.
There you go. A little difference. A little difference. Brady finds her team trailing by 1. And Johnson pulls the trigger, misfires. One of the things you'll see from Coach Grover tonight, and you may have an opportunity to see it from Coach Kirby as well, liberal substitution. So many of these Southeastern players will have the opportunity to see time.
Several new players on the court now.
Yeah, we'll try to sort this out as we go through. Alex Robinson coming back onto the court for Southeastern. Katie Branham coming back on as well. Sierra Rangel, freshman from Oliver, Texas, coming in wearing number 14.
Traveling.
Also checking in, Chandler Kemp, a sophomore, sister of Ariana. She checks in wearing number 22 for Southeastern. For Harding, still on the court, Miller, as well as Pageant, Cooper. And checking in also a senior, Plano, Texas, Mackenzie McNamara. She's wearing number 4. We talked about Sydney Jones. Jones with the game winner in the championship game last season. Got the rebound and the putback. Turn around, put it right back up on the end of the court in which they're standing right now. An amazing game, an amazing victory for Harding. And you talk about propelling them on.
75-73, I think it was.
I believe so. All alone inside is McNamara. And Harding on top by 3 now.
Well, and that's what I was saying a moment ago. I was surprised Southeastern was getting shots at the rim. Coach Kirby countered by putting McNamara in, a taller player. It's worked out in both ways. She stopped a couple of plays at the rim and now scoring on the offensive end.
Well, and she came in when Kemp and David went out.
Yeah.
So advantage Harding there in the lane. Clock running down here in the first quarter. Brady with the ball. She's going to fire long range. No good. Rebound chased down, but the clock says the first quarter is in the books now. Harding on top by 3, 14-11. Back in a moment here on the GAC Sports Network.
What makes Henderson a better choice in education? Is it the campus or the buildings? Is it class size or professors with PhDs? Is it the cost, the value? What is it about Henderson?
It's me.
A strong educational foundation from Henderson put Richard Jacobs on the road to becoming a doctor. Today, he's at the forefront of pediatric research and care. Henderson prepares today's students for tomorrow because what counts is what you become. Henderson State University.
Harding hitting better than 50% from the field. 6 of 11 from the field right now. 1 of 5, though, from behind the arc. Southeastern shooting's gone a little bit cold as the first quarter has come to an end. 5 for 13 from the field as Harding is led in scoring by Lampo and Layrock, each with 4 apiece. That's a game high. Courtney Brady has that for the Storm. Southeastern man-to-man defense. 3 no good as Brady's able to save it back in. Savage Storm, Sierra Rangel, the freshman, tosses off to Brady.
This is definitely a tall lineup for Harding that may force Southeastern to start shooting from outside again.
It's not going to take a tall or a short lineup to force Alex Robinson to shoot from the outside. She's ready to do that pretty much at any given time. Other players, maybe. Rangel sets up. Instead, she'll be charged for the block. Or called for the block. I want to misuse my language there. Called for the block, no charge. Count the basket for Harding as Kennedy Cooper is on the line for the and one. That goes as well. Countering that three-pointer by Robinson on the other end. In recent years, it seems that there's usually at least one Southeastern player that's ready to pull the trigger anytime she's past half court. Rangel for 3, and that one, oh my goodness, that died on the back of the rim. A knuckleball.
It stuck, didn't it?
Stuck and just rolled in.
Yeah, Robinson's definitely that shooter for Southeastern this year. I saw her play once on the road, and she was not afraid to fire from downtown, made several, in fact.
McNamara's 3, no good. Southeastern with an opportunity to retake the lead right here. Again, the last time these two teams met, it was a 17-point victory for Harding. First time the two have met here on a neutral court this year.
Yeah, and that came during a really rough stretch of basketball at the end of January for Southeastern. They lost a couple of days before to Arkansas Tech by only 2. They lost a few days after the Harding loss to Southern Arkansas by 1. And then they actually had a loss to Henderson a week later. It was a tough late January, early February for Southeastern.
Jones goes in, and Rangel is going to pick up another foul.
Yeah, she's
on the
trying
block.
to figure out what do I have to do.
Exactly. Jones is going to be shooting 2 free throws. Here's the biggest loss, though, for Southeastern during that time, Michael. It was right about that time that Southeastern lost Katie Webb.
Right.
And that was a bigger loss than any of those games individually. Southeastern strolling along at a pretty good pace, had a 4-game winning streak going on right about that time. And after the loss of Katie Webb, well, the L's started to pick up. A 4-game losing streak not long after that, a 3-game losing streak. They right the ship a little bit, come into the postseason having won 3 of 4. But it would be, I believe, a little bit of a different story, and it's that way in every situation. Every team has to deal with the injuries and what it takes to go through that. And not having number 24 on the court for Southeastern made for a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, and when you don't have one of your top offensive players going against this team, we're talking about the Harding defense. Here's the numbers that they've given up the last handful of games: 62, 56, 56, 54, and 41. So defense has definitely been there for Harding.
Yeah. Southeastern has put on the board in recent games 55 and 53. Now, something needs to be said about that is David with the extra effort. Ties it back up, 19 apiece. One thing you say about that, of the 55 and 53 points they put up in 2 of the last 3 games, 53 points was enough for a win.
Right, yes, yeah.
LD Central is just 42 at that point. David with the steal on the inside. And this is the game, at least in the early going, that we thought it would be. Knotted at 19 right now.
Yeah, it's interesting to see those anomalies throughout the season. Tech actually beat Harding earlier in the year, 56-54. You wouldn't expect those two teams to be in the 50s.
Exactly. Man defense now from the Lady Bisons. Hunter with room, and Layrock didn't get out on her quickly enough. Southeastern back on top by 3.
That's the first 3 points of the day for Hunter. I was kind of looking at her as maybe a key to the game for Southeastern tonight, looking for someone to really step up and play well. Let's see if she gets going.
Layrock. She'll get it back, double teamed right there. Faces up at the goal. Nearly lost her footing. And the Southeastern crowd doesn't like that, but I thought she held that right foot in place.
Yeah, it looked a little bit awkward, but I think the pivot foot stayed in place, like you said.
We've seen Layrock here now on her fourth trip to Bartlesville. And Kemp, it's a charge on the other end. Layrock takes it. Remember her playing as a freshman, and she saw good minutes. Here's a senior. She brings experience to the table.
Layrock was the tournament MVP as a freshman as well in 2015.
Had a bit of a sophomore slump, but really picked it back up. It's done well for this Harding team. Miller finding an open Paget across the way. Looking inside now. And the triple team down low on Lampo will send her to the line. Pick and choose which one's going to get that foul.
They put it on Robinson for reaching in.
Lampo. First free throw is good. Layrock will take a seat now. Bring Cooper back in.
Well, the freshman of the year in the Great American Conference.
Exactly. Second free throw, no good though. Kelly Lampo, 12 points per game, 18th in the GAC. She also shoots at a clip of 46.5%. Kemp has that one go out of bounds. Last touch by Harding.
Fans have seen some close games in Bartlesville. We've had only one that was really out of hand on the men's side, but women's games have been close. A couple of hard-fought games yesterday.
Taking the other direction, Carissa Caples off the glass and in, the freshman from Rosebud, Arkansas. Making her presence known here in Bartlesville. Well, and if you look at the numbers too, you might just say offhand, 97-86. Arkansas Monticello over East Central. That was an 11-point win. Yeah, it took double overtime to get those final numbers. Now Lampo's going to pick up a personal foul.
See that Southeastern men's team across the way from us watching and rooting on the Savage Storm after the men won earlier today.
2-point victory for Southeastern. And you know, one of the things about this too, Michael, we mentioned it, pass behind Brady, but able to be corralled by Southeastern. This will be the last time that I believe that something like this happens. On the men's side of the bracket, the three of the four teams that won, it's the first GAC tournament victory. That's Northwestern, Southern Nazarene, and Southeastern. The number 2, the number 1, and the number 4 seeds in the tournament.
We nearly had the top 4 seeds advancing to the semifinals, which has still never happened on the men's side.
Fallon Miller stepped on the line. Media timeout, we'll take it to 24-22. Harding's gotten back on top in this one. Back and forth, and we'll be back on the GAC Sports Network.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
In any way that we can.
To get a friend home safe.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
To stand up.
To make our community safe for all.
It's on us.
It's on us to look out for each other at parties.
It's on us.
To be more than just a bystander.
To step up and say something.
It's on us, all of us.
To stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Harding Lady Bisons on top by 2 right now. Harding, which is 11-4 in GAC tournament history, having won 6 of its last 7 GAC tournament games. Of course, won the tournament championship in 2015, and we've talked about the fact that Harding was tournament champions in 2017 as well. Runner-up finishes in both 2012 and 2014. Obviously one of the dominant teams here in the tournament. And you really, I looked at 2 teams that may be on a collision course in Southwestern and Arkansas Tech, because there's not been a tournament final that hasn't included one or both of those 2 teams, but Harding's found its way into many of these tournament finals as well.
Yeah, both of those Harding losses were to Southwestern.
Shot clock violation. Ball movement for Southeastern went on a little bit too long, and Harding wanting to build now on a 2-point advantage.
Tell you what, we talked a lot about Southeastern having just 2 tournament wins here in GAC play, but the 2 wins have been monstrous ones. In 2012, they defeated Arkansas Tech, the top seed in the tournament, as the 8th seed, and then scored over 100 points against Southwestern in 2015. Remember that one? It was a fun one.
Yes.
101-92.
Paget, sophomore, dials up 3, and it's now a 5-point advantage for Harding. Largest lead of the game for the Lady Bisons. Robinson can't counter on the other end, and Jones with another big rebound.
Well, it's crucial how you close out quarters. Well, about over 3 minutes to go. It's time to close out a quarter for one of these 2 teams.
Well, if we're starting the closing, then it's going well. The freshman with 3 more, Carissa Caples with a triple. Back-to-back 3-pointers for Harding, establishing some dominance here in the second quarter. David fouled on the court. Put that one on Jones, and that is her second personal foul. Jones hasn't taken a shot from the field yet tonight.
Thought they might take her out here.
And they do. Substitutions, 2 new players for both sides. Lineup for Southeastern is Branham, Johnson, Brady, Hunter, and David, who caught the inbound pass.
Harding's taken only 7 shots in the 7 minutes of this quarter, but they've made 5 of them. That's the difference right now.
Three-pointer for the Storm now. Courtney Brady gets her team back to within 5.
Honorable mention, all GAC selection. That was a good look. She was open, knocked it down.
Layrock, Caples, Paget, Miller, and Lampo on the court now as Layrock in the middle of the lane off the glass. That's a nice move. Solid move, dribbling in and turning and firing from right in the middle of the lane, about a 6-foot jumper. Branham not afraid to drive inside, kicks out. Brady open for a fraction of a second. Instead, she'll take the higher percentage shot and makes that one.
Well, if you're looking for scoring without Katie Webb, Courtney Brady's provided it so far, 9 points.
Johnson comes through to help. Instead, Caples, the cutter, can't get it to fall. Lampo fouled on the board. Less than 2 minutes remaining here. 7th foul between the two teams. Lampo misses off the front iron. 1 for 3 from the free throw line.
Rangel coming back in, playing with her 2 fouls. A freshman playing in her first tournament.
On the free throw line right now, Harding leads Division II in free throws attempted. 734 coming into today's contest. And chalk up about 8 more right now at 742. The school record, by the way, is 768. Don't know if we'll see that in one game tonight. We'll see how close it gets later on. Brady stops and can't pop on that one. Well, we talked about the free throws attempted. First in Division II with free throws attempted. 6th in Division II, though, with free throws made. 495 of those. And 2 more points for the Lady Bisons. They extend the lead to 8, 35-27.
Freshman of the year playing big. She has 8 points in the first half and a presence inside as well for Harding on defense.
She's only 2 for 4 from the free throw line, but she's made all 3 of her shots from the field. Hunter squares up.
Hesitated a little bit. Of course, that was because she had Lampo coming towards her.
Skip pass to an open Amanda Kearney. And another freshman with another 3 for Harding.
Yeah, there's the difference. No hesitation at all. Catch and shoot. Largest lead of the game for Harding.
Oh, it's a new wave of Lady Bisons coming through here. First trip to Bartlesville. Looking pretty good for Harding right now. And the future's bright. Of course, Michael, you may remember we said that when Miller and Layrock were freshmen too.
Yeah.
And they've had some pretty good run. Pretty good run at Harding.
Absolutely.
Storm will go to the free throw line here.
Of course, they had a point guard that helped him out a little bit too.
Oh, well, yeah, she was a sophomore then, wasn't she? What was her name? I think it was Andi Haney.
That's right.
I'm teasing you. Teasing Harding fans. We know who she is. And if you're listening, Andi, it is. Yeah, I was going to say, if you're listening or watching, it is a little different without you here in Bartlesville.
May have been part of some of the early season struggles as well, trying to get into the rhythm.
Certain players are, like I said, there are players that are difficult to fill those shoes. You never replace some players. You fill the jersey, you fill the shoes, and you do the best you can, and it's a different look the next year. One free throw in, it's a 10-point contest, and first half is winding down. Harding, as you mentioned, one of these two teams need to close well. Right now, the Lady Bisons are doing just that. 5 seconds left. Will Miller get a shot off? Right elbow, she passes inside. Jumper, no good. And the horn sounds. We're going to go to the intermission with Harding doing well. 10-point advantage, the number 4 seed over the number 5 seed right now. And our third game of the day. Take a look and listen to the third member of our crew, Paul Smith, as we go into the halftime. Paul?
Thank you, guys. I'm standing here with Greg Harnden, Director of Athletics at Harding University. And Coach Harnden, obviously, this is a program you've got a special kinship with, having coached women's basketball at Harding. And this has really been kind of a tale of 2 seasons. It was a tough start, but the team really has come into its own lately. You know, just what's that been like for you to watch this year?
Well, you know, I live and die with them, and it was an awful start, but we're actually young, even though we had success last year, and we're playing 4 freshmen a lot, and our seniors are starting to play really well, and so, you know, I think we've won maybe 9 out of our last 10. So I think the reward, obviously, is seeing the finish to the season.
And it seems like, you know, like you said, the talent was always there, always evident. A lot of young players that Coach Kirby recruited to come in, and it just seems like that chemistry really built, especially people started to see it more in February.
Yeah, and it's no big secret that we were hurting at the guard position to start with. We had Peyton back, but she now has some help from Carissa, and, you know, Fallon is knocking the shot down. So I think our guard play improving has really helped us a lot. And our balance, you know, this game, he's already played 9 kids a lot. And I think our depth has really helped us.
Well, you've had a very successful run at Harding University. You just announced that you're going to be retiring at the end of this school year. What are some of the more positive memories, just things that you'll take with you as you step away?
I don't know. I think probably you remember the recent ones. Obviously, last year in women's basketball, this year in football. Softball program last year, you know, winning the regional and almost going to the Final 8 there, World Series. So there's a lot of successes there, but it's really the relationships with the kids. We all say that, but it's really true. I mean, this is my 49th year in education, so I wouldn't have stayed in it if it wasn't for our student athletes.
Well, Coach, congratulations on an outstanding run at Harding, and it looks like, you know, your team's got off to a good start here, and we'll see how things go in the second half.
Thanks.
We're going to take a break. 38-28, Harding with a halftime lead. We'll be back with the second half of this one. This is the GAC Sports Network.
What makes Henderson a better choice in education? Is it the campus or the buildings? Is it class size or professors with PhDs? Is it the cost, the value? What is it about Henderson?
It's me.
A strong educational foundation from Henderson put Richard Jacobs on the road to becoming a doctor. Today, he's at the forefront of pediatric research and care. Henderson prepares today's students for tomorrow because what counts is what you become. Henderson State University.
Opportunity begins here.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
Seize your opportunity. Soar to new heights with our nationally accredited aviation program.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern's renowned education program has launched thousands of teaching careers.
Seize your opportunity.
From occupational safety, health and business to behavioral and natural sciences.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
SC.edu.
Log on now
and seize your opportunity.
Southern Nazarene University was just ranked the best college in the state of Oklahoma by Money Magazine. That's big news, but it's not a surprise to us. Money ranks SNU as one of the top 50 colleges you can actually get into, and in the top 50 most affordable private colleges in the nation. Why travel when Southern Nazarene University is right here in Bethany, Oklahoma? Inspired academic excellence in a success-driven environment. Southern Nazarene University, the best college in Oklahoma.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
For me, that meant that I could afford to go to college. When I was considering colleges, it was important to find one that my parents and I could afford. So I was happy to find that I could attend the University of Arkansas at Monticello at one of the lowest costs of any four-year college in the state. Affordability, tradition, a great college experience. It all comes together here at UAM.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
I'll ride the highway, I'm going my way.
If you're a free-range chicken, you roam free. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to GEICO. It's what you do.
Yeah.
A triangle solo? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Sam and Joanna saved by switching to GEICO. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
Don't you worry, my child. Everything's gonna be just fine. Little darling, you keep on walking, 'cause I ain't never gonna leave your side.
As kids fall in love with sports, our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
The running of the Bulldogs? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Aaliyah saved by switching to GEICO.
I knew engineering would be a challenge,
but that hasn't stopped me. Here, I could create a new organization and networking opportunities for women in STEM fields. At Arkansas Tech, I'm more than just a student. My name is Emily Torrialba, and I am a trailblazer.
At Arkansas Tech University, I find harmony between art and science. Here, I can sing into a microphone and learn how one works. Whether it's performing on the field or solving an equation, I'm constantly evolving to meet tomorrow's challenges. I am a musician and a future engineer. My name is Jordan Davis, and I'm a lifelong learner.
In high school, people described me as bright,
hardworking, and dedicated.
That I had a big heart because I care about people and doing the right things.
Now, everywhere I look, I see an entire community just like that.
Learning more,
doing more, and caring more.
A community of mission, Harding University.
Southern Arkansas University feels like home.
SAU feels like home to me because it is my home away from home. My professors, friends, and classmates have taken on a caring and supportive role for me.
SAU feels like home because the faculty treats me like a part of their family, and they do everything in their power to help me succeed.
SAU feels like home to me because the atmosphere on campus makes me feel secure and like I'm part of a family.
Come visit SAU and see why so many students are saying that Southern Arkansas University feels like home.
Southern Arkansas University feels like home.
SAU feels like home because I've been treated like one of their own from the very beginning. While at SAU, I felt comfortable, encouraged, and motivated to succeed.
SAU feels like home because the atmosphere makes me feel secure and like I'm a part of a family.
SAU feels like home because everyone is here for our students. They care about our success.
Come visit SAU and see why so many students are saying that Southern Arkansas University feels like home.
Southern Arkansas University feels like home.
SAU feels like home because I've made lifelong friendships with people who care about me.
SAU feels like home because I'm part of so many traditions that create meaning for my college experience.
SAU feels like home because it's the perfect size to find people you share common interests in.
Come visit SAU and see why so many students are saying that Southern Arkansas University feels like home.
Hi, Connor here to show you around SWOSU and why we love it here.
Well, your friends are more like family.
I love the sports and concerts at the Pioneer Cellular Event Center and more than 100 clubs.
The small class sizes, 100 fields of study, and a nationally recognized pharmacy college. Close to OKC is the best place for me. Come and see for yourself.
It's on us to stop sexual assault
in any way that we can.
To get a friend home safe.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
to stand up.
To make our community safe for all.
It's on us.
It's on us to look out for each other at parties.
It's on us.
To be more than just a bystander.
To step up and say something.
It's on us, all of us.
To stop sexual assault. Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
What makes Henderson a better choice in education? Is it the campus or the buildings? Is it class size or professors with PhDs? Is it the cost, the value? What is it about Henderson?
It's me.
A strong educational foundation from Henderson put Richard Jacobs on the road to becoming a doctor. Today, he's at the forefront of pediatric research and care. Henderson prepares today's students for tomorrow because what counts is what you become. Henderson State University.
Opportunity begins here.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
Seize your opportunity. Soar to new heights with our nationally accredited aviation program.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern's renowned education program has launched thousands of teaching careers.
Seize your opportunity.
From occupational safety, health and business to behavioral and natural sciences.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
SC.edu.
Log on now
and seize your opportunity.
Southern Nazarene University was just ranked the best college in the state of Oklahoma by Money Magazine. That's big news, but it's not a surprise to us. Money ranks SNU as one of the top 50 colleges you can actually get into, and in the top 50 most affordable private colleges in the nation. Why travel when Southern Nazarene University is right here in Bethany, Oklahoma? Inspired academic excellence in a success-driven environment. Southern Nazarene University, the best college in Oklahoma.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
For me, that meant that I could afford to go to college. When I was considering colleges, it was important to find one that my parents and I could afford.
So I was happy to find that I could attend the University of Arkansas at Monticello at one of the lowest costs of any four-year college in the state. Affordability, tradition, a great college experience.
It all comes together here at UAM.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
Harding has opened up a 10-point advantage at the half. Southeastern's Courtney Brady with the reverse layup, keeping her team in it. Sydney Layrock doing her part on the other end on the block. Long range shooting, a little bit of a knuckleball there that falls. But Layrock again, and that one put her team up by 5. This one, the freshman, Caples. And Harding owns a 10-point advantage. Halftime here, it's 38-28. Harding on top, 4-5 matchup. Michael, what stands out to you from the first half?
6 of 11 in the first quarter for Harding, 8 of 12 in the second quarter, 61% shooting in the first half. And I guess if you're Coach Darren Grover, you say, well, we're only down 10. They shot 61%. We only shot 42%. If that levels out or flips, then we're right back in the game. But if you're Harding, you're right where you want to be. You're starting to outsize this team, out-muscling them inside, and you've got several players who are contributing. Lampo with 8, Layrock with 8, and 5 from Caples. Good performance from Harding in the first half, even though it started pretty slow for him.
Yeah, I think if coaching, well, I'm not, but if I was, if I'm sitting over there where Coach Kirby is right now, you've got a senior with 8 and a freshman with 8.
I wouldn't trade you, Joey.
I'm telling you right.
I wouldn't trade you.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
But no, I'm sorry to interrupt your point. You might trade me.
But I tell you what, I like the way that looks. And also for Harding is Hunter still has not found the range for Southeastern. She has 3 points, but close range, it's been a bit of a struggle for Celicia Hunter.
Yeah, 1 of 3. She's missed a couple close at the rim.
What stands out to me about that is, too, that the Lady Bisons have held Southeastern just 28 points. Now, Harding, number 3 in the conference in total defense, as the freshman Kelly Lampo becomes the first player to score in double figures today. She now has 10. Harding giving up only 65.7 points a game. We talked about the fact that the last time these two met, Harding held Southeastern just 46. I thought at the time, there's no way you hold Southeastern 46 points in the tournament. But they're going to have to do something to get past that mark, like that one from Branham.
Yeah, well, Coach Kirby knows Southeastern's eventually going to knock down a couple of threes, maybe a couple of threes even in a row to have a little bit of a run. But I think if you're Harding, go back to Lampo, go back to Layrock. When Jones is in there, go to her and just continue to muscle your way inside.
Well, Lampo is taking your advice, Michael, muscling her way inside for 2 more. And her 12 points represent the advantage for Harding right now, 42-30.
Yeah, if you can't stop it, if the defense can't stop it, you got to go right back to it.
Well, and to this point, Lampo hasn't been stopped. She's 5 for 5 from the field.
Didn't see much there. Put the foul on Kearney.
David with the handoff to Robinson. And she stepped back just a little, and I think that was the difference in the shot.
Yeah.
Came up a little bit short. Around the outside, Lampo will post up now, and Layrock goes back to the high post. Lampo with a little room decides not to take it. Instead, driving in, it's Kearney. She'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, David is not coming out to guard the post player when they're on the three-point line. She's staying underneath and switching between Lampo and Layrock, and got caught underneath the rim that time.
Harding owning a rebound advantage in this one at the break. Actually, 5th nationally. They lead the GAC in rebounding margin, bringing down 10.6 more per contest than their opponent. That is an impressive gap.
Yeah, and the fact that they're leading doesn't surprise me. The margin does a little bit, but again, it goes back to this is a tall team. They have a lot of height. They crash the boards. They don't give teams multiple opportunities very often. That's the second time now we've had a foul away from the basketball. That was on Lampo.
Just trying to get position down low. Not happening so much right now. Kelly Lampo, we mentioned, freshman of the year, second team all GAC. Sydney Layrock also with conference honors. She was honorable mention. Southeastern had Courtney Brady on the all GAC list this year as an honorable mention as well. David underneath the basket, reverse is good. And she has 2 more. David now with 6 points on the night.
And that was the third foul for Lampo, so she's on the bench right now. Again, you bring in Sydney Jones, former tournament MVP, but got to take advantage of Lampo not being on the floor.
Layrock. I'll tell you what, Michael, you had the recipe coming out of the break. Muscle your way in there, get some shots to fall in the lane, and Harding's taking advantage of that.
Yeah, the other thing it's going to do, you're eventually going to get more free throws too, which was an area that Harding already won in the first half. Only 2 free throws from Southeastern, and Harding was 6 of 9 in the first half.
Possession favors Harding right now after the tie ball, and that's an area that Harding excels in anyway, as we mentioned in the first half. They go to the free throw line with regularity. Both teams have had 9 players see time on the court this evening. Over to Layrock. 3-pointer off the back iron. Storm needing to cut into what is now a 14-point deficit. And you have to think, Michael, I know we're a little bit away from the end of this third quarter, as Brady's jumper from about 17 is good. You want it to be in single digits.
Right.
Before going into the fourth quarter.
Remember, I said it earlier for Southeastern, though, it's better off to take that 2 straight away than it is to step back and be out of sync on a 3. And we saw it there with Brady getting a good look, an open look.
Robinson near steal. Layrock looking for Jones on the inside. There's a triple team and a foul.
Yeah, we saw one of those in the first half, a reach-in foul. 2 officials maybe discussing as to who they're going to put that on. There were so many players in the area. Or if they'll even call a foul at all. I think one of them might have said jump ball.
We'll look at this momentarily, it looks like. Foul is going to go against Robinson, according to the official going to the table right now. So the officials said that they're looking at a possible upgrade on what we would call a common foul. And we'll have a chance to look at this. And if anything, it may go against Jones.
Well, yeah, I think Jones was just trying to reach out after the ball once it was out of her hand.
So Robinson with the foul. And clearing out. Jones trying to reach out, get a hold of the ball. I don't know. Left arm toward David, right arm toward Robinson. We'll see how this pans out. Southeastern trailing by 12. It's going to be
I would think
that foul, by the way, on the court, and not in a free throw shooting position right now, either of these teams. So.
Yeah, I'm thinking it looks like it'll probably just be a foul on Southeastern and an inbound.
You know, that's something Southeastern really doesn't do that often. Southeastern commits the fewest fouls per game in the GAC, 16.6 per game.
Yeah, I don't know what else you could do if you're Southeastern, though, because when they have clamped down and gone in for a double or triple team, it looks like they've at least gotten their hand on the basketball, but called for a reach in a couple of times.
Meanwhile, Harding at the top of that list, by the way, fouls per game. They lead the GAC,
wow.
20.4.
There you see your Wrangell, a freshman with 4 points. She got in foul trouble a little bit earlier.
Well, there are a number of teams that have made it to all of these tournaments we've mentioned a couple of times, and I know we'll wind that down over the course of our conversation today, but all 12 schools in the Great American Conference represented between the two tournaments, men and women. 4 schools having men's and women's teams in the tournament this year, and the official says it's incidental contact, so it's not going to be upgraded. But Harding has been in all seven GAC women's tournaments. So has Southeastern. You don't think about Southeastern being there as often because it's been a lack of success once they made the trip to Bartlesville. But Southeastern is qualified for all 7.
And for the first time, the Harding men not here.
Yeah, that's interesting. Southeastern with both men and women here. Harding just the women this year. Hunter, mid-range jumper is good. Hunter now 2 for 4 from the field. And Southeastern back to just 10 down. There's Caples directing traffic now. Layrock a little off the mark, and Miller skies through for a board.
Well, Southeastern received a gift there. Another missed 3 from Layrock. Again, they were having so much success on the inside. Layrock's missed a couple from outside, but Southeastern could not secure the rebound.
Layrock had a couple of players that were closer to inbound to. I don't think she liked the way it looked. Jones is going to take the opening on the outside. Layrock will, and she drives in and around and in. Sydney Layrock with 2 more. She has 12 tonight. It's a game high. Tied with her teammate Lampo. Layrock's done it on 6 of 10 shooting. Branham, right corner, good.
And it's time. It's time for Southeastern to get some shots to fall from outside if they're going to get back in this thing. If you're Harding, I still think you get the ball in the paint every time. Go in, either get a foul or get an easy basket at the rim.
Caples kicks out. Little off the mark, and Jones goes over. Knocks that one away. Media timeout is here. Southeastern back to within 9. Harding still with a solid lead. Back in a moment here on the GAC Sports Network.
Opportunity begins here.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
Seize your opportunity. Soar to new heights with our nationally accredited aviation program.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern's renowned education program has launched thousands of teaching careers.
Seize your opportunity.
From occupational safety, health, and business to behavioral and natural sciences.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
SC.edu.
Log on now
and seize your opportunity.
Southern Nazarene University was just ranked the best college in the state of Oklahoma by Money Magazine. That's big news, but it's not a surprise to us. Money ranks SNU as one of the top 50 colleges you can actually get into, and in the top 50 most affordable private colleges in the nation. Why travel when Southern Nazarene University is right here in Bethany, Oklahoma? Inspired academic excellence in a success-driven environment. Southern Nazarene University, the best college in Oklahoma.
Well, looking on, the regular season champions, the Southwestern Lady Dogs, victorious last night over Oklahoma Baptist. Fell behind. We're down 16 in the 4th quarter to the Lady Bison. And following an 18-0 run by Oklahoma Baptist, countered with a 25-0 run, scored 27 of the last 30 points in the game, and came away with a victory. Watching tonight, a little bit easier on the Southwestern player systems tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fan base, I'm sure.
What a move.
Nice by Hunter. Storm back to within 7 now.
She already had a high percentage shot, but with that extra dribble, made it a little bit easier.
Layrock looking around now.
Southeastern 5 for the last 5 from the floor.
Harding still controlling this one. And the pass stolen by Robinson. Harding using all of the shot clock that time. Really needed to get something to happen. Layrock tried to find someone on the inside. Robinson stepped in.
Well, I'll tell you what, Joey, earlier I said, I don't know what you do. You've already drawn the double team, the triple team. You're picking up fouls. I think what you do is you get there early enough and get in the passing lane before the ball gets into the paint. I guess that's what Coach Grover did, and it worked.
Coach Kirby, meanwhile, is going to take a timeout. Let's keep it right here as Branham found Hunter on the inside and drew the double team. Hunter open on the left block. Southeastern to within 5 now, and Coach Kirby wanting to talk this over with his team.
Yeah, 7-0 run from Southeastern in the last minute and a half. Hunter with 9 points now. And we talked about one of the women's basketball teams a moment ago in Southwestern, and there's Henderson. They've yet to play.
That's right. Get a chance to see them in our final contest of the day.
They'll take on Ouachita. Battle of the Ravine all the way in Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
Now, see, they don't have to walk across the street. They don't get to walk across the street for this one.
That's right. That's right.
They have to travel somewhere.
Tell you what, we've talked about the bad weather throughout the course of this year, and earlier in the season, a Monday night game between Henderson and Ouachita had to be postponed because of the bad weather. And I told my wife, I said, on the Sunday before, I guess it was a Tuesday game, excuse me. On the Monday before, I told my wife, I said, well, there's one game that is going to be played in the league tonight. I know that for sure. And I was wrong because they couldn't get officials there. Kind of forgot about those guys.
Southeastern's men team won a little earlier today, cheering on the women. Now, how far do they have to go? Well, you have to have officials.
Yeah.
You still have to have officials for the game. Oh, the weather did wreak havoc on the latter part of the GAC basketball schedule.
Not every 3 years it seems like that happens.
Telling you. Baseball and softball, tennis, all have taken hits in recent weeks and days. Nice drive. Paget can't get it to fall. Lampo will chase that one down. Caples looks inside, and that'll draw a foul. Harding's Kennedy Cooper going strong on the block.
David working hard inside. She has her work cut out for tonight because, as I said earlier, she's switching on defense. She's staying down low and guarding whatever post player is around the rim, and she's going to have her work cut out in the second half.
Now she has 3 fouls now as well. Free throw no good, and one opportunity goes by the wayside, but Cooper puts her team back up by 7, and really that stopped the run for Southeastern as well, so that was big for Harding. Hunter coming off a screen, one dribble, and won't go any farther. Branham looking inside again. Brady trying to post move, can't get the shot to fall.
David's lucky she didn't pick up her 4th.
Exactly. Nearly losing it that time. Kearney gives it back out. Capel stop jumper. Left baseline. That's pretty.
That was a good shot.
Less than 2.5 remaining here in the third quarter. Harding extending the lead back to 9. Southeastern trying to get the ball to the inside. A nearly errant pass that Branham chases down. It's on the court and taken away. Caples slings it out of bounds.
Well, that was wild right there.
Should get Miller in the contest, though, for Harding, as Caples will take a seat. Also time enough to check in another Storm player.
David may be out of the game, but she's coaching on the sidelines, telling the freshman who replaced her what to do.
Ariana Kemp coming in now. And of course, for Southeastern, we've talked about Sierra Rangel in as well. Lampo has her. Freshman battling now on the blocks.
They were discussing whether to reset the shot clock or not, and they did.
Robinson thought about the three. Instead, she'll draw contact, and Paget will pick up the foul. Just her first personal.
Harding's done a good job of limiting their fouls in this game.
Well, you'd think sometimes that Coach Grover has a quota of substitutions he wants to make in a game. You have to get that done.
Good thing he doesn't coach volleyball. He'd be limited.
Hunter for three. Harding lead back down to 6 as Paget brings it up.
That's our big shot for Hunter right there.
Miller has Hunter on her. And the Lady Bisons pull it back out again. Now Miller alone for three. That one comes up a little short. Rangel decides against it. Robinson had been setting up shop over there for a while. Robinson, I know, would have taken that one. And the layup no good. For Southeastern, though, you have to feel like, and there's a battle going on the block again. Lampo has it nearly taken away. Kearney's shot a little too strong. Nice chase down by Paget, who finds a cutter on the left block. Cooper in for two. I was about to say Southeastern has done what it needed to do and get the lead out of double figures before the quarter. But it's back up to 8.
Yeah, if they don't give up another basket, they still have won the quarter, especially if they score here. But that was a big basket from Harding and maybe a chance for another one now. Oh,
Lampo.
That hit the referee.
Got the block, yeah. He's part of the court. If that had stayed in bounds, he's part of the court. It did go out.
I don't know. I think Coach Grover was there to – he might have been almost on the court too.
Shot clock is reset for the Storm, though. 35.6 left here in the quarter. Storm with another opportunity to cut into an 8-point deficit.
It wouldn't surprise me to see Southeastern go for a 3 here for some momentum into the fourth.
Rangel did a good job just keeping possession for the Storm.
Yes, she did.
Kemp, no room on the baseline. That's a great job by Sydney Jones to cut off the baseline. Hunter for 3, left wing, well short. And it's going to go to Harding. I thought Jones might have touched that.
I thought so too, or that it was going to be close.
You go to chase it down like that. 10 seconds, plenty of time for Harding here. Paget picks up the speed. Cooper for 3, rattles in. Well, Harding, and when all is said and done, won the quarter.
That's right.
The lead is now 11. 10 minutes left to play here in Bartlesville, and the Lady Bisons have opened it back up. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
For me, that meant that I could afford to go to college. When I was considering colleges, it was important to find one that my parents and I could afford.
So I was happy to find that I could attend the University of Arkansas at Monticello at one of the lowest costs of any four-year college in the state. Affordability, tradition, a great college experience.
It all comes together here at UAM.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
I'll ride the highway, I'm going my way.
If you're a free-range chicken, you roam free. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to GEICO. It's what you do.
57-46, Harding leading Southeastern Oklahoma as we come back to the fourth quarter. I'm Paul Smith, off camera, standing here with Southwestern Oklahoma head coach Kelsey Music. And, Coach, I have to ask you, have you caught your breath after last night's game?
Finally. We did today after we got to have another practice. So we were kind of on an extreme high last night after we faced that low through 3 quarters of the game. And so it's quite exciting, but I've finally been able to catch my breath and gather ourselves to refocus for tomorrow's game.
In that game when Oklahoma Baptist got its lead to 16 points, what did you tell your team?
You know, that we had to keep fighting. We tried to change some things up defensively and try to give us a little momentum. And I feel like once we got within about 10, I remember them calling a timeout, and my team came to the bench and they said, we're not losing, we're not going home. And at that point, I felt like we're going to be okay even though we were still at a deficit.
It seemed like somewhere along the line during that run, Haley hit a three-pointer from Tulsa, and it seemed like that was the moment where the team just picked up on it and said, we've got this.
Usually when she does that, that's what happens. I mean, it doesn't matter if we've been up in a game this season and she kind of hits that deep three and we can go on a run to, extend a lead. But at that point, we were behind. When she hit that, it's like, okay, we've got this. She hit that big three. We can turn it up a notch right here and be able to go on a run.
Well, you went through a battle last night, and really whoever wins this one, you're ready for another one tomorrow.
Absolutely. We know it's going to be a battle no matter what. It's March, and that's what March Madness is all about.
Well, and as this thing goes, it's not just playing for a conference championship, but really the chance to potentially host a regional, which would be huge for you.
Absolutely. I mean, the other coaches that have had the opportunity to do that, it's a great advantage to be able to play on your home floor where you're comfortable. So that's definitely in the back of our minds, and we're not taking it lightly. We understand what we have to do in order to put ourselves in the position for that to be a possibility.
Coach Kelsey Music, thanks for joining us. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Michael, Joey, back to you.
Thank you, Paul. Actually, I thought that Haley Tucker had hit that one from Whippoorwill, Oklahoma, as opposed to Tulsa. But, it's all in perspective at that point. That was quite a run for Southwestern. Of course, winner of this game has the honor of taking on Southwestern tomorrow.
It took a 3 down to a 2-pointer for Southeastern at the end of that quarter there. I'm assuming that was the Hunter 3-pointer?
I think that's the one it has to be. So
yeah, Hunter.
In between the third and fourth quarter, Southeastern's deficit increased. Realistically, it didn't in between the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That just made it right. But as far as we were concerned, it did. And I think, that's even a tough thing coming into a quarter where you have lost a little bit of momentum. You think you're down 11. You start the quarter down 12. What just happened here? Harding, that's what's happened. Lady Bisons are tough in March in Bartlesville. Again, 11-6 in the GAC tournament over the years, 6 previous years.
I don't know if Paul we lost a point on his bingo card for this year, but you could have got that one in.
Yes.
On that one.
And by the way, I said 11-6. I meant 11-4. Couldn't have been 11-6. They won 2 championships. That one doesn't fall for Jones. There's no third place game in this tournament either.
Right.
Brady. Looking over now, Johnson doesn't see what she likes. Harding in a man-to-man defense, but Jones is giving Kemp lots of room on the outside. She's ready to help in the lane. Hunter, jumper off the mark.
I'd say this is about the exact type of game Coach Kirby wanted from Harding.
I would think so.
Probably about where he expected. His defense has played really well in this one.
And another offensive rebound there, too. Jones will get it back. She doesn't want to take that shot, so they kick it out and reset. Now she has what she wants, and she's successful. Didn't like the look on the right side of the lane, got it on the left side, and then made her way over to the right, off the glass and in. And that's knowing what you want on the inside, and Jones did just that. Well, this defense for Harding has been stifling. Kemp drains that one. And she really needed to do that. I mentioned on the previous trip, Jones is giving her room right about there. And see if she gives her that same room the next trip down the court. In the meanwhile, Miller finds Jones up top.
Just her first 2 points. They'll need somebody else to kind of pick up some slack here for Southeastern if they're going to get back in this. Maybe it'll be Kemp.
Three-pointer a little strong. Tied up in the lane. And possession arrow favors Harding again, but just as a note, Southeastern had the ball to start the fourth quarter. That's why the possession arrow, after what seems to be another tie ball, goes right back to Harding. Wholesale substitutions, by the way.
David coming back in for Southeastern. I would think as long as she doesn't pick up another foul, Coach probably has said, hey, you better be out there the next 7 minutes and 36 seconds. They're going to need her inside.
Hunter with a 1-on-2, stops. She'll go to the line, though. Draws free throws. I think ordinarily, and I would be of the conservative mindset to say you're 1-on-2, don't force the issue. Southeastern down 12. Some issues have to be forced.
Yeah, sure. Well, you got to get to the free throw line.
You have to get to the free throw line.
8 of 12 for Harding. This is only the third free throw attempt from Southeastern this entire game. It's not anything against the referees. It's just the style of play. Southeastern likes to shoot the ball from the three-point line and long twos, and because of that, you don't have a lot of contact.
And Harding's given them those looks and helped to dictate. That's what they do. Sometimes you watch the games, and if you take it from a casual perspective, you don't think about all the film that gets watched. And we heard that from Coach Tolan with the win for Monticello in the post-game presser. Said we saw film from last year's tournament. We looked at this summer and thought we did this wrong. That was really, I thought, impressive from him. Nice look as the shot clock runs down. Lampo with 2 more. Great ball movement, team effort. I thought that was a fantastic take. You look at it and go, we just did this wrong, and they fixed what they needed to fix.
To me, it was refreshing to hear, because sometimes you ask coaches that question, how much did last game factor in? How much did last year factor in? Did you pay attention to that? And sometimes they'll just flat out tell you, no, that was last year. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it really does, especially when you're dealing with the same coaches, some of the same players. Tendencies are the same from year to year.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at the coaches in this contest as Robinson goes to the line to shoot 2. That foul charged, by the way, to Caples, her first. Both of these coaches at their respective teams for 13 years.
Yep.
A lot of film. I was going to say, there's a lot of film and a lot of tendencies. Players will change. Coaching tendencies don't change that.
Right.
Second free throw doesn't fall. Around the horn now as Miller tries to make a move on the younger Kemp.
Mentality doesn't always change either, and this Harding team's used to winning here in Bartlesville.
David stepping in the passing lane.
Well, I said it earlier, if you're not going to get there quick enough for the double, or if it's going to result in a foul, then you've got to get in the passing lane quicker.
Branham wants it on the inside. Instead, Robinson takes the shot and runs into David after the fact.
And Miller blocking the shot. I had that wrong. Pageant, I think, blocking the shot underneath there.
Harding doing a masterful job of taking care of the shot clock. It's not an insurmountable lead. They're not going to give Southeastern too many opportunities to cut into it. Miller for 3, a little short. Scrum for that one, lots of contact. They let this one go. As Branham brings it up. Robinson, quick fire on the 3. Lots of white jerseys there to bring down the board.
That's one, if it goes in, it could change the landscape of the game, but a quick shot gives Harding another opportunity to run time off the shot clock.
David getting position down low, and Lampo was fouled, but it wasn't going to be David that time. Media timeout with exactly 5 minutes remaining. We'll take the break. Back in a moment. Harding pulling away here in the fourth quarter on the GAC Sports Network.
Yeah.
A triangle solo? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Sam and Joanna saved by switching to GEICO. Ow! 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
Lampo with a game-high 14 points. Goes back and forth. Harding's Lampo with 14, Southeastern's Hunter with 13, Harding's Layrock with 12, Southeastern's Brady with 11, and to keep the trend, Harding's Cooper with 10.
You know what? You have a lot of daughters. If you had to do over again, you should tell them to go to Harding because they would get playing time as a freshman. Some schools you just sit on the bench your freshman year, but it's amazing what Harding's been able to do with their freshmen year in and year out.
Well, now, and you know, to follow that up, there's some talented freshmen too.
Right, yeah.
They really are. You have to be able to play. Layrock, left wing, a little short. One of mine played basketball.
There you go.
Got another one that's looking into tennis this spring.
All right.
And, we're not sure about the youngest one. I will say, by the way, let you give me an opportunity to say that. My second daughter, Jenna, who is on the Palm squad, Palm and dance team at Oklahoma City University, became an NAIA All-American.
Awesome.
A little earlier this week, so we're excited about that.
Congratulations to Jenna.
Hunter will draw the foul. Now they have nationals coming up in not this weekend, next weekend, so works out well. Lots of travel, lots of road stuff in March.
You'll be on the road again.
Be on the road again. Well, it's still an 11-point advantage for Harding, and I think the biggest thing, even the last trip down the court came up a little empty points-wise. The big thing was knocking the ticks off the clock.
Sure.
So a little bit more than a half minute went by before Southeastern was able to get a point. That free throw from Hunter, good. And she's still perfect from the line. 4 for 4 tonight. Hunter now with 15 points. And it's back to a single-digit deficit for Southeastern.
Well, I think they're going to probably start to full court press a little bit, apply some pressure.
Keep it right here. Timeout on the court. As we do keep it right here, Michael, it gives us an opportunity to talk about the fact that we're here in Bartlesville and Bartlesville Bruin Fieldhouse, broadcasting tonight from Adam Hooper Memorial Press Row. You know, we've had a chance to talk about Adam Hooper, who is a local broadcaster here, a graduate of Northwestern University, one of the GAC schools, but well-liked, well-respected man in the community. He passed away a few weeks after the conference tournament last season. I know you've talked about what he's meant to the conference, but I mean, on a personal note, too, I had a chance to visit with Adam, not only in the conference, but a few times outside of opportunities come up here. I operate OklahomaSports.net. Adam helped me a number of times and gave me a couple of stories also to put in OklahomaSports.net. I really appreciated what he did, and just a really, really great person to work with and to know in general. So we respect him and honor him here tonight. Checking in for Southeastern, new player in the game, Jordan Dawson, a sophomore from Golden, Texas, in. Maybe a little bit of a defensive look now. Switch and a travel. So Southeastern, 2 points to cut it to a 9-point game, has an opportunity to cut into that deficit a little bit more. Cables goes out, and Patchett and Lampo come back in.
This has a feel of a Southeastern game where a three's probably going to fall here pretty soon, and then maybe another three. They're going to make this thing close again, it would seem like. We know we've seen that a time or two.
And we've seen it a time or two right here in Bartlesville as well.
But Harding defense is pretty good, too.
David, who is checked back in, hand off to Brady.
Take the three.
I don't think so. Branham might. She can hit from inside and outside. And Brady with an opening, up and in.
Yeah, well, Harding was expecting the 3-2. They ran out to close out on Brady. It gave her a step to the rim.
See now what the Lady Bisons do. Layrock posting high. Gives off to Lampo, posting low, and there's the answer.
Layrock held onto the ball long enough that the defense kind of froze up.
Branham from the outside, said she could hit from inside and outside. She responds. Southeastern deficit now 6 is Harding hanging on. Kearney down the court, looks ahead to Miller. Nice look to Lampo again, and Lampo on that left block. She's been open and her teammates have found her.
Harding obviously wants to use the clock, but when you've got one right at the rim, you have to take it.
Exactly. Well, Michael Lampo's 8 for 8. She can take it all night. Dawson comes up a little short on that 3. Lampo has not missed from the field. She's 2 for 4 from the free throw line. Maybe that's what she needs. You got to have a hand in her face to make it.
Quite the performance, yeah.
That is a great debut in Bartlesville. And blocking foul is going to be picked up by M.M. David. That's her 4th.
All of a sudden a 10-point lead again.
Amanda Kearney on the line. Alex Robinson to check back in. .11-point lead again. We've seen some nice debuts, Bartlesville debuts this weekend so far.
We certainly have.
And among those, Lampo has to be up near the top. You shoot 8 for 8 from the field. That's a nice night. She also has 8 rebounds.
Coleman for Oklahoma Baptist had 28. It wasn't a debut, but Tucker set a career high with 34.
Brady goes in strong. She'll go to the line.
Boy, what else go down the list? Franks for Southwestern with a career high in rebounds, 21.
21. No kidding. There's a great debut for Bartlesville.
And so I asked her in the postgame show how she liked playing in Bartlesville. I knew she would have a good answer.
Second free throw doesn't fall. Still a 10-point game. Still live here at the Bruin Fieldhouse.
I won't ask Lampo that today, okay? If it comes to that.
We'll see. Layrock, left wing as Branham comes out on her. More time ticking off the clock. Clock the friend of the Harding Lady Bisons. Pass into Lampo. This one's, I was going to say it's blocked, but the foul is called, so.
That was close.
You know, and if you're keeping stats, and if you're a stat junkie, and you just, you know, especially if you're a Lampo fan, you'd rather that be a foul than a block. A block would have been a missed shot. Foul means the shot doesn't count against her, and M.M. David takes a seat with that 5th foul.
A senior for Southeastern as well.
And she has had quite a run for the Storm. We see here. Yeah, I think Lampo needs a hand in her face.
Yeah, I guess so.
Free throw's not as successful. 3 for 6. Hunter kicks out. Branham for 3. Drains that one. Michael, you're right. Another 3-pointer falling. Southeastern not going away quietly. Timeout on the court, though. We'll take it as well. Harding in control. Less than a minute and a half remaining. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
Don't you worry, my child. Everything's gonna be just fine. Little darling, you keep on walking, 'cause I ain't never gonna leave your side.
As kids fall in love with sports, our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin.
Full court pressure results in a foul. Southeastern's Courtney Brady comes up. But is it free throws yet? I believe it is. I think it's the fourth. Southeastern was in the bonus. And here's the full court pressure again.
Not the worst case scenario there for Southeastern. They get the foul before the ball's inbounded.
No, I agree. You have to try for a steal on those. The first best opportunity, if your team is trailing, and we've seen this a couple times already this weekend, I feel like you have to try for the foul first, for the steal first. Now, if that means you're going to be so far out of position that you lose another 4 or 5 seconds before somebody can foul, that's a different story, but give it that shot.
I mentioned about David a little bit earlier. She came back into the game with 3 fouls at about the 7-minute mark, and I said, as long as she's not in foul trouble, you leave her out there. That's what Coach Grover was trying to do. The senior just finished her career fouling out, played in 105 games for Southeastern in 4 years.
Kearney hits 2 free throws. Harding's lead back to 10. Brady draws the contact from Kearney. And she'll pick up her third. Well, you've done everything you can do to this point. It is what it is. The season is what it is right now. You just have to play these games. But the biggest thing is to get here. You can only make something happen if you get here. And for, again, both these two teams, they've done that each of the 7 seasons the GAC's been around to have a basketball tournament.
Yeah, and it seems like more often than not, Southeastern gets in these opening round games with just a matchup that they've struggled with during even the regular season. And you've got Harding right now playing really well down the stretch, especially defensively, as we've said. And just shooting for Harding. I mean, they're 59% for the game. We talked a lot about their defense, but the offense has been there too.
Well, it's a tale of 2 seasons again for this Harding team, having lost 4 of its first 5 games. A stretch there where they lose 6 of 8 before really turning things around as the Ouachita win. And Michael, I don't know if you were there for that. No,
were you
there? Okay, yeah, it was on the road when they the home game for Harding, not Ouachita's home game.
We'll keep going.
Picks up the win.
Look at the score when they're
going to win there. They're going to win in Arkadelphia 75-41.
I was there for that.
Yeah, you were there for that. Harding wins 6 of its last 7 coming into the postseason. Definitely on the right path as Hunter commits the foul, stops the clock, and it's going to send Padgett to the line to shoot.
Yeah, that win over Ouachita, they actually held Ouachita to 2 points in the 4th quarter. Tigers did not even make a field goal.
Well, I mentioned 6 of the last 7. I get that right. 7 of the last 8. I apologize. 7 of the last 8 for Harding. Prior to that, then, of that last 8 games, game before that was a loss for Harding, and it was at Weatherford, taking on then number 10 Southwestern.
Right.
And that was a rough loss, 103-77. And Harding to carry out the win tonight, as you expect the Lady Bisons will do, up 9 on the free throw line with less than 50 seconds remaining. The next step in this parade is a date with Southwestern.
Yep. And if you take out that 103-77 loss, Harding was, Jay Lindley of Southeastern was telling me earlier that Harding in the second half of conference play was giving up like something in the low 60s as an average.
Second free throw doesn't fall. Hunter needs to do something quickly. She'll drive in, and the shot no good. Rebound. Coach Grover, I believe, is called off the Dogs.
I think so. Double-digit deficit, 30 seconds remaining.
Still some
Harding
difference.
just finds a way, don't they?
They do. They just do. Going to move to 12-4 in GAC tournament play. That's an amazing run. Darren Grover will be stuck at win 199 through the offseason as Harding lets the shot clock expire.
We're going to have an interesting matchup tomorrow. A Southwestern team that struggled up until the fourth quarter of their game against Oklahoma Baptist, but top team.
Celicia Hunter, one more jumper before it's all said and done. Little off the mark. And we have zeros on the scoreboard. This one's done. 73-63. Harding advances and will take on Southwestern tomorrow. A very solid effort on both sides of the ball, specifically, again, the defense from the Lady Bisons. And we throw it to Paul Smith to take us out of this one.
73-63 your final in favor of Harding. They will advance to face Southwestern Oklahoma in the 5:45 semifinal tomorrow. Fans, we've got one more game here tonight. Coming up, the tip-off scheduled for 8 p.m. Probably going to be very close to that. It will be, have to double-check my cheat sheet, the 3rd seed, Henderson State, and the 6th seed, Ouachita. Again, that game taking place at 8 p.m. tonight. One more game. We've had some great ones so far. We've got no reason to believe the 4th one won't be the same. For my broadcast colleagues, Joey McWilliams and like Michael Westbrook, I'm Paul Smith. Back in a bit on the GAC Sports Network.